Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you're all having a great day, and welcome back to the channel. Now, with the festive season just around the corner, and with it hopefully being a banger of a SMISSMAS update, I reckon it's just about time to do a Steam Workshop showcase to promote some of the awesome items, effects, and maps that have been put forward by the community for the SMISSMAS update this year. Naturally, a quick disclaimer that all opinions on these items are just opinions, and if you disagree, that's normal, and I would love to hear why in the comments section below. And now, after a short and shameless plug for my Discord server and streams on Twitch and YouTube in the lead up to Christmas, let's get straight into the video. So to kick things off for this segment, we're going to be having a look at 3 out of a plethora of lovely Christmas themed maps. To start this off, we're going to be looking at SNOWFALL. Now, SNOWFALL is a Christmas reskin of the common CTF map Landfall, and I think it goes really well. I can really appreciate where they've put the snow, the Christmas lights, the icing, and I also like the fact that Landfall is a logging site, and I mean, while we may not use natural Christmas trees as much anymore, more the plastic ones, at least especially in Australia, it is a really nice touch, and thematically just works. This next map is also a CTF reskin, however it comes with a bit of a twist. You see, it's Festive Turbine, except instead of being just Turbine with snow, they've completely changed the map. They've obviously added in the snow, the Christmas lights, the icicles, but they've also added in more wood textures, they've created more open areas, and they've, on the whole, done away with what kind of made Turbine, which I kind of like, even though it's still based off that map and has the same sort of general structure and I suppose one could say geography. It's really quite different, and I quite like it. For the final map we'll be looking at today, I want to look at a completely unique map. That's right, not a Christmas reskin or wintry reskin of any other pre-existing map, but a completely new one, and this map is called Wattsville. Now, I'm not sure the context of this name, but all I do know is that it is positively stunning. I really like the aesthetic of the buildings along the side of the payload track, and it all in all is just an extremely beautiful Christmassy vibey map. However, there is a slight issue that it has not been playtested due to a lack of interest according to the creator of this map, but honestly, I reckon I want to be playtesting this on my server in the lead up to Christmas, and I will be getting a server. I'll make a video on that, so make sure you're subscribed or in the Discord server or something to get notified, but hopefully we'll be able to run this one. Next up, we're going to have a look at some of the taunts that might be added in the SMISSMAS 2019 update, or at least have been put forward for the SMISSMAS updates. Now, some of these are absolutely amazing, and with myself having done a bit more animating than usual lately, I can definitely have a greater appreciation to the amount of time and effort that goes into these. So I definitely suggest you pop on over to the workshop and click yes to these to be added into the game. First off, we're going to have a look at the SCORCHE'S solo. This is a taunt for the Pyro, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. It's sort of like implies that Pyro just got a piano for Christmas and is now learning some basic tunes, and I think it's a really nice little one, really basic, and I'll let you have a quick look at it. And now the SMISSMAS ride, a little moving sleigh ride for each class, and I think this is the coolest almost of the ball. Obviously the one I'm saving for last in this section is the coolest, but this is a really, really nice one that was released a couple of years ago, and I'm shocked it hasn't made it into the game already. Don't know if there's a reason for that. There might be, I don't know. All I know is that it looks really, really, really cool, and I have a little GIF here that I can show you. Finally, we have the taunt that I reckon is the most likely to get into the game. It's an all-class movement taunt called the SMISSMAS Surprise. Basically, it's really cool, and I really, really want it. So, Valve, if you could please put it into the game, that would be greatly appreciated. But here's a little sneak peek at it. I personally am a fan of any cosmetic item that you can get that you can actually see while playing the game, and with TF2 being a first person shooter, this list is limited. However, skins apply, and as a result, so do war paints. But we're only going to be looking at Christmas war paints for this segment, so let's get into it. To start things off, we have a very mean green looking war paint, and that is the Gingerbread Gunner. It has that striped red, white and green pattern that is synonymous with Christmas, and some very nice holly designs, and when combined with that sort of, albeit maybe bland green on the weapons, it creates quite a nice additive to your screen. Next, we have the Holly Berry Hotshot, which, albeit a bit more simplistic in just being white and black and grey with a bit of holly design, still looks really nice. I think the holly goes really nice, and the white background adds a large amount of contrast, which, as you can see when applied on a weapon here, just looks really nice. Now we have our first one with a play on words, and that is the Night Before SMISSMAS. I think this is a really cool one, a very starry sort of design, obviously, and I think the colour palette of the purples and the blues and the blacks goes really well with the yellow stars and the contrast. I think it just looks really good. It's very simple, but it doesn't need to be complicated. It just looks very nice by itself. Next, we have yet another really simple and interesting one, but it is undoubtedly one of my favorites, and that is SMISSMAS Cookie. Now, this is quite interesting because you have the sort of icing red or blue with the starry white designs, and then you have the sort of cookie color, that sort of cream on top, which becomes then like, you know, the handle of the scattergun or the rocket launcher, which I think is really cool. And honestly, it's just like the Night Before SMISSMAS one in that it's really simple, but it doesn't need to be that complex to be good. Next, we have probably what will be the most polarizing one because it is rather obnoxious, and this is called SMISSMAS Village. Now, it is very bright, very contrasting colors, dark greens, bright whites, reds, yellows. It looks really nice. It is a bit busy though, which is what I think some people might not like. However, I have to say I do really like it, and I hope this one gets added. This next one is definitely more of a winter themed based war paint than a Christmas themed, and this is the Winter Archimedes. It is really clean, and I must say I do really like how some areas are grey, some areas are white, some areas have footprints, some areas don't. It's really clean, really nice, and I think this is one that you can't really say looks bad, honestly, and I really want to see this one in the game. Finally, we have one that, although it looks really good, is kind of funny because it would kind of negate the purpose of festivizers, and that is SMISSMAS Glow. It is essentially a war paint that turns your weapon into a festivized version of itself, which I think is a really neat concept. However, it does kind of create a second festive, and I'm not sure if Valve would put it in the game based off that. Seems kind of petty, but you know Valve, sometimes they make weird decisions. But either way, it looks really nice, hoping it gets added. Now, Christmas, just like Halloween, has a complete abundance of potential thematic unusual effects, and I think Valve hasn't really made full use of this in years prior, and I really hope that they do this year. So let's have a look at some Christmassy or SMISSMASy unusual effects. Now firstly, we have a kind of sunbeams look-alike, but not really, and this is a SMISSMAS Miracle. I think this is a really cool unusual effect, and I really like the sparkling effect that comes with the sort of cloud and the sunbeams effect. I think it goes really well, all the different particles, and it just looks really clean and really nice. Next, we have our first unusual taunt effect, and this one is called SMISSMAS Spirit, and golly gosh, does it inspire me with that. I really like it. It's quite similar to some of the Halloween unusual taunt effects, but the different colors are really nice, with my personal favorite being the kind of mixed color one that you can see on screen. It's like got the purple and the yellow. Oh, it's so nice and it's so pretty. Next, we have another unusual taunt, and this one is called Frost Flames, and it once again looks a bit like the Halloween one, except it has those snowflake particles, which I think are a really nice touch. It has that kind of mist. The flames are really cool, and I really like the icy style. It also leaves a really nice trail, which you can see, and it's just all in all a really nice effect. So now another head-based unusual effect, and this one is Frost Crown, the sort of brother or sibling to Frost Flames, and I think it looks pretty dang good. However, there might be the complication of it looking a lot like Scorching Flames or Burning Flames, but I don't see why that would be an issue because demand would then be set based on its desirability still, and it wouldn't exactly be first gen, so hopefully this one can be added. Once again, has those snowflake effects, which I think are really cool, and it can make for a nice sort of like little loadout with some taunts with the other effect and some hats with this one, so it's pretty nice. Another head-based unusual effect in this one can be seen more with a candy, I suppose, that theme of Christmas, and could actually also be argued as a Scream Fortress unusual effect, and this is SMISSMAS Portal. It's a pretty cool effect. I will say I really do like the sparkles that come outside the portal, and the red and blue is quite nice. Maybe this in some other colours would be cool too, so you'd have like a purple energy, green energy vibe kind of going on. I reckon that could be pretty nice, but yeah, really nice effect. One of the more interesting effects I've come across in my time looking for stuff for this video has to be SMISSMAS lights. The idea of having the tree in with the effect is really cool, and that star as the central point is really nice to look at. I think it's not too obtuse, and with Valve having released some other effects with solid objects in them, I reckon this one could actually make the cut. The final unusual I'm going to look at today is kind of based off of Blizzardy Storm, I think, and this is Frost Storm. This is really fucking amazing. It's such a clean effect and it looks really nice. The sparkle, the snowflakes, the cloud, how it moves, the glowing. Oh, it's just really nice. I could honestly just watch this for days upon end. It's just so beautiful. Finally, the last section of the video, and the one you've all probably been waiting for, and that is a look at the hats and cosmetics on the Steam Workshop for SMISSMAS 2019. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So first off, we have an all-class hat called the Bell Bobber, and it's looking pretty cool, honestly. I really like the sort of a wide brim style Christmas hat, because there's nothing like that in the game yet, and I think it'd be a really cool addition. Next up, the addition to the Festive Engineer, we have the Builder's SMISSMAS Supplies. This is a really nice looking Festive Engineer backpack cosmetic, and I think, as I've already stated actually, it goes really well with the Industrial Festivizer and the Faceful of Festive set. This is one I saw recommended in a Scrap.tf raffle, and it is the Winter Wrap, and honestly, it looks really nice. I really like the scarf and the hat and how they go together, and on the whole, it's probably one of my favorites that I've seen so far. Now we have another Pyro head replacement cosmetic called the Man Snow. Now, there was another one called the Power Jack Frost, which I think also looked great, but I like this one more, so I put it in the video. But it looks really nice. It's really clean. I really like the carrot and the sort of crooked smile. It's just really good. Next we have a sort of head cosmetic, and it is called the SMISSMAS Stars, and this is one of my favorites. It's an all-class sort of star on a spring that you put on your head, like those hats people wear at like Christmas parties, and it has jiggle mechanics, which are like some of the coolest things for cosmetics in games, and I think this one has done it really well. Next, we have a much needed warmth or SMISSMAS cosmetic for my favorite class, the Soldier, and this one is called the Freedom Sweater. I think this is really nice. It's kind of like the SMISSMAS sweater for the Pyro, but not for the Pyro, it's for the Soldier, and it looks really good. I really like it. Now we have a Pyro backpack for all you naughty boys and girls out there, and this is the Sack of Coal, which I think is really neat, really tidy, quite nice looking. I quite like the actual coal in it. It's pretty good. It's a nice touch, all the shine. It's just actually a really well-made cosmetic. Next we have quite a modest Demo Man coat, and this is the SCOTSMAN'S SMISSMAS coat, and it is quite plain, quite ordinary, nothing too amazing, but it's nice and simple, which I think is something that some other Demo Man cosmetics are really lacking. They're a bit too busy, and this is just quite a nice one. Next, we have a very quaint little engineer pocket cosmetic, and that is the SMISSMAS Essentials. I think these pocket cosmetics are quite nice as mercenary grade cosmetics in the new cases, and honestly, this is quite a nice one with the candy cane and the little sort of bauble stuff. It's really quite nice. Now we have an all-class bell on your head, which is the SMISSMAS Rings. I think this is quite a nice little idea, and the bow just adds to the aesthetic. I think it looks great on all the classes, and it could possibly even be an elite grade cosmetic, as generally they tend to be the funkier ones. Finally, we have a very generic Australian Christmas Santa hat, and that is the SMISSMAS Saxton. I think this is a really nice all-class hat, and it looks really cool. It's a really nice play on the sort of Santa hat, molding it with like the crocodile teeth kind of vibe you get with Sexton Hale, and I honestly really hope this one gets added into the game above all others. So guys, that was my little showcase of what the community has been doing over on the Steam workshop for TF2. Hopefully hopefully all of these get added in the SMISSMAS 2019 update, assuming again that there is going to be an update, but we can keep our hopes up, guys. After all, it is the festive season. Once again, just a reiteration that I will be streaming as of next week, Wednesday, every day, hopefully up until Christmas, on both Twitch and YouTube. Links below. Be sure to join my Discord server if you want notifications. And until next time, guys, I hope you all have a very festive season, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.